So, as you know, if you watched any of my previous videos on me growing tropical fruit, I have a sort of weakness to cacao. Every so often I get this irresistible craving for more fresh pods from Montoso Gardens. Last year, after seeing that Brian updated his website and now offers fresh criollo pods, I got the craving again. To grow cacao from seed, you must have fresh seeds. Cacao is recalcitrant, I believe that's how you say it, meaning that if the seed dries out, it dies. It means that many people who sell seeds are actually not really selling fresh seeds and, well, you're gonna be wasting your money. Montoso Gardens is great because it's in Puerto Rico, so there's no problem with any customs, and he offers fresh pods. He also offers seeds, but fresh pods are great because it's the pod sort of protects the seeds inside, and you get to try the fruit. Brian owns Montoso Gardens, which is a huge botanical garden in Puerto Rico, and it's a wonderful place to visit. He's a really nice guy, and he really responds quickly to your emails. There is a contact form on the Montoso Gardens website, which I will link in the description, where you can ask Brian any questions you may have. He grows many different varieties of tropical fruit, so if you're interested in seeds from not just cacao, then that's the perfect place for you. Now, I don't think he offers seeds or anything, but if you visit, there's a huge variety of gingers and heliconias. It's absolutely spectacular. But he does specialize in cacao and has many different varieties. Now, varieties of cacao. There are three main sort of varieties that are well known: Forastero, Trinitario, and Criollo. Trinitario, this sort of natural hybrid between Forastero and Criollo. Forastero being generally disease resistant and very productive and accounts for most of the world's production. In Africa, actually, though cacao isn't native to Africa, but that's a whole nother topic. Trinitario being the sort of middle ground between productivity and, well, quality, and Criollo, which naturally has white seeds, is more mellow and has less bitterness and more nuanced flavors, and is generally regarded as the best cacao variety. Now, actually, that's not really the entire story. There's varying qualities of cacao and hybrids and all that stuff in terms of each of the three varieties, and actually it's not just three varieties. Technically, Nacional, sort of the oldest cacao variety, genetically the oldest, technically it's a Forastero, and it has up to, I don't know if it's like 40 or 70%, I can't remember, somewhere around that percent white beans. So how can that be technically a Forastero? I don't know. In reality, there's really a lot more varieties of cacao than just splitting them into the three: Trinitario, Forastero, and Criollo. Though it is a sort of convenient way of splitting them up. For the first time I got pods from Montoso Gardens, I got a Trinitario and a Forastero. One thing that's unfortunate is that I didn't label the plants and they kind of mixed up, but I am pretty sure that I know one of them is a Forastero and the other are Trinitario. I got two pods, right? So I kind of went back and forth with Brian asking what kind of special varieties he had, because I already had regular Trinitario and Forastero. I wanted something with more flair. I knew I wanted the Criollo, but then for the other variety, because buying one pod, who wants to buy just one pod? For the second variety, I eventually landed upon Giant Trinitario. The Giant Trinitario is a Colorado variety of Trinitario. In general, buying things from Montoso Gardens is great because, as I said before, there's no customs you have to go through. They're very, very cheap. Everything he offers is incredibly cheap. I mean, it's really fantastic. The prices are just phenomenal. Shipping is, of course, quite expensive because it's priority boxes. And, well, in general, priority boxes aren't really cheap, but it's not too expensive. And if you live in the US, the packages should come within like 3 days. And if you get pods, then it shouldn't be damaged during transit. And for the shipping, you're paying about $15 to $20 for a medium rate priority box, which could fit 2 or 3 pods. So it also kind of depends on what's in season and how many packages. It's really nice to shop from Brian. It's really an easy and pleasant transaction every time. It took, because I was ordering specialty pods, it took about 2 weeks for the pods to ripen. It could take more, could take less, depending on the season and when you order. But Brian sent an email, okay, pods are ready, shipping, gave the tracking number. Everything was great. I pretty closely followed the tracking number. And eventually, after about 3 days, the mailman comes and knocks on the door and gives me the package. Now the package was a bit cold because it was in the middle of, I think it was in the middle of March or the beginning of April, I can't remember. But it was a bit cold, but it didn't affect any of my seeds' viability, but just be aware that if your temperatures go below 50 degrees at night, maybe you shouldn't order the pods at that time. If you want to risk it, I wouldn't recommend it. Because, well, I don't think it's worth getting frozen pods. Unless you don't care about growing it, then, well, do what you want. The package itself, it's a medium-sized flat rate priority box. And when I opened it, I was greeted with 2 pods wrapped in a healthy amount of newspapers. I tore off the newspapers and was greeted to the beautiful view of 2 fresh cacao pods. The first thing my mother said when she saw them was that the pods looked just about the same to the ones I got previously. And that's true because of 2 reasons. One, the Criollo, it's very similar in size to the Forastero. The Criollo is more pointy and has this sort of lighter yellow color with a bit of red blush on one side, while the Forastero was sort of this all yellow, darker yellow color. But the giant Trinitario, the Colorado, well, it turns out that the Trinitario, which I didn't know the variety of that I got last time, well, actually, it's a Colorado variety, so I got the same thing. I was a little bit disappointed by that, but there is a plus, and that's that these Colorado Trinitario varieties seem to grow the best for me. For some reason, most of them grow the fastest and seem to be the most hardy to my dry conditions indoors, while the other varieties, even the Forastero, sort of, well, a little bit more shaky. Now the biggest difference, of course, between the small yellow pod I got this time and the small yellow pod I got the last time was that the one I got last time was a Forastero variety, while this is a Criollo. No photos can come close to what the human eye can see in terms of the vibrancy and the beauty of the cacao pods. You really have to see them. It really is just an incredible sight to behold. Fresh cacao pods. They have an almost ethereal feel to them. The texture and the colors, the depth of the colors specifically, really is incredible. Cacao pods are really something you have to experience for yourself, and even I, who have seen a multitude of cacao pods, even I get really blown away every time I open a box and see a fresh cacao pod. That may be the reason why I so fervently crave to have more. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. If you really like me for some unknown reason, consider supporting me on Patreon, where I release extended cuts of basically all the videos I put on YouTube, in addition to other special videos and updates and other rewards. Also, for now, that's the only place where I offer plans. Thanks for watching. See you next time.